Hello, my name is Reverend Sadie Stone. I'm the pastor at Bethany United Methodist Church here in San Francisco in the Noe Valley neighborhood. One of the activities that my church has been engaged in a more intensive way since the start of pandemic has been to create hygiene kits and also sack lunches. This is a ministry that existed in our church pre-pandemic. We did it every other month. But in the wake of the pandemic, we realized that the need didn't stop. In fact, the need increased. And so our outreach increased, and we went from every other month to every 3 weeks. You can see behind me some of our hygiene kit outreach items. We have hand sanitizer, face mask, socks. We put together these hygiene kits with our youth who put them together, and then we make sack lunches. During the pandemic, we had volunteers from our church going out onto the streets of San Francisco, engaging with the unhoused face-to-face, having opportunities to show them that while many of the other service agencies that was providing care shut down, the church never shut down. Our buildings may close, but the church did not close, and our outreach continued. We were always present. One of the great opportunities that has come out of the pandemic is the opportunity to engage with our neighbors more. We have a slow street in front of our church now, which is a San Francisco initiative where they blocked off the street so that more people could have access to outdoor space so that we could be in community with each other. And it has tremendously increased our impact and engagement with our surrounding neighborhood. One such engagement that we have started as that is that every Sunday we put out this bin for a sock drive for the homeless. And so this allows us to not only continue to do those hygiene kits, but it involves our entire neighborhood. So every week we put this out on Sunday mornings while we worship outside, and neighbors come by and drop off socks. So our outreach kits are not just a ministry of Bethany, but a ministry of the entire larger Noe Valley community. Bethany has long had a practice of bringing food and donating food for the San Francisco Food Bank. On the first Sunday of every month, as we would do communion, we would all bring our food donations to offer as well, a way that we were nourishing ourselves with the bread and the cup at the table, and then bringing food for the larger community. We have decided that since we are now worshiping outside and bringing so much more of ourselves to the larger world, why not also offer this opportunity to our neighbors as well? We have put this barrel on wheels, and every Sunday as we worship outside on our outdoor patio, we wheel this barrel outside. We put it in front of our worshiping community, and we allow opportunities for neighbors to engage by putting their food in our barrel so that we might feed our larger community. Welcome to Bethany's Sanctuary, and no, I promise you it didn't always look like this, but like with all things in the pandemic world, we have shifted and prioritized the way that we have done worship. We were exclusively online for over a year, well over a year, and then at the start of June we decided to come back, but we wanted to come back in a way that felt safe for our community, and so we came back outside, and we are still worshiping exclusively outside as of October 2021. What you see here is part of what goes into making our worship happen. We put all of this stuff outside every week. We bring out sound equipment, hand sanitizer stations, a place for our bulletins, sound equipment, chairs, which I don't think you can see over here, altar settings, communion baskets, clipboards to keep track of our attendance. These were from our Blessing of the Animals event. So this is our worship go-to station. And so while our sanctuary is a place of sacred worship and blessing, it is also this place where it can be adaptable and changing to our needs. And we can find sacred worship wherever we are gathered. And we thank and give grace to God for that. At Bethany, we are blessed with having outdoor space. It's not a lot of outdoor space, but it is more than many of our churches in the city have. And part of that is this upper balcony and a lower balcony that allows us to do outdoor worship service, outdoor small groups. Up here we have a fire pit. This space is also where we held our confirmation classes last fall. In the midst of the pandemic, we were able to bring our youth together on tables, socially distanced, so that they could have in-person confirmation classes and experience confirmation together. During our outdoor worship services, this is where our musicians are, so they can be up here with their instruments, they can be here singing, and then we are down below worshiping together. The beautiful thing about this is as we are worshiping together in community, the street is right there. As people pass by, they stop, they listen, they worship with us. This has really brought a whole new meaning to bringing the church outside so that others can engage with us in a way that's not scary. You don't have to walk through the doors of our church. Maybe you're uncomfortable with that, but we have found a way to bring church to the Noe Valley community, and we have had just an amazing experience being with our neighbors, watching neighbors across the street every week come out on their front stoop, worship with us in their bathrobes with their coffee. It's just been an amazing experience to have the pandemic force us to think about how to do and be church differently. Normally, when you see a basketball hoop that looks like this, you might think toddlers. But here at Bethany, because we are an urban church, we don't have a lot of space to put up a regulation basketball hoop. So for our youth, this is actually what they use to play on. Our youth group uses this actively. Our teenage boys love shooting hoops on this basketball hoop. They drag it all over the church wherever they can find room and space. And so part of urban ministry is making fun, making space, making do with the areas that you have. I'm standing in front of Bethanys prayer wall. This was a project that actually was supposed to be temporary. It was a Lenten project where there was encouragement to put an outside installation so that members of the larger community could be in prayer, tying prayer strips onto the wall. What we realized is by putting this out here for just the 6 weeks of Lent is that there was tremendous response. The prayer wall fills up time and time again. We remove these prayer strips, we put them in a jar so that we maintain the prayers of the community. We restock the strips, and over again, this prayer wall fills up with the prayers of the larger community. This is a way for us to be in prayer, to be in presence with our community in Noe Valley, to let them know that we are a church that not only does community engagement and outreach, but we are a community that prays and cares for them. And we know that God knows that every one of these prayer strips represents. And every Sunday during worship, we uplift and uphold all of these prayers as well. Another impact of the pandemic was the closure of the San Francisco libraries for an extended amount of time. But our love of books and our love of reading and the need to exchange and get new access to materials did not diminish. And so one of our members had the idea of planting a little free library on the corner of our building here at Clipper and Sanchez. And it has been a tremendous opportunity for outreach. This little box fills up and is replenished and replaced daily. Every day I check it. Every day there are new assortments of books. Sometimes it's filled up with children's books and adult books. And it just is a constant source of in and out. And I have had so many opportunities to engage with people right here at the corner as we talk about our love of books, what people are reading, why they're exchanging books, and what they're hoping to find right here in this magic little box that just contains free resources for our neighborhood. So often people feel constrained and limited by your space, and what we have found here at Bethany is that you can make do with what you have. During the week, our downstairs patio provides a playground for a preschool at our church, and on the weekends, that is the site of where we worship. That is a site where we put sack lunches together, where we have small groups, where we engage in ministry and fellowship. It's truly a multi-purpose space, and it allows us to engage with our community and be visible and present. And so we are grateful for the adaptability and thinking about how we can use this beautiful space in ways that serve and worship God.